Thank you and welcome. We appreciate you being here. It's a very special day for us. My name's John Pencer. I have the honor of being presiding over the board of directors. I've been involved with LSA since 2016. So we're here to talk to you and welcome you to Home is Where the Heart Is. We're celebrating 20 years of our impact at LSA. We're going to look back at LSA's history. We're going to talk about where we are today and raise some funds for the future. This is the third year of our fundraising events, and we're excited to be able to have you join us in person, and while others will be joining us virtually. Our goal today is to raise $150,000. We currently have $37,000 starting out. We're thrilled to announce that LSA has been blessed with a very generous anonymous donor who has offered to match every donation today up to $500,000. So your impact today will be doubled. So I hope everybody's had an opportunity to take a look at our silent auction items out there. There are many that that are waiting for initial bids, and some that are really good deals. We have a wide range of items to choose from. You can take a trip. You can go wine tasting. There are several opportunities there. We'll have a chef come to your home and prepare a dinner for you, and much more. So if you have to leave to go to the ladies' or men's room, slip outside and make a bid, and you might come back with a great deal out there. And that'll help us reach our goal. There are several ways you can donate tonight. You can donate using text to give. You can donate using credit card, check, cash, Apple Pay, Venmo, and PayPal. So we have a lot of opportunities. You can write your name on your napkin, and we'll figure a way to use that as a donation as well. Before I get started, I want to welcome everybody and welcome one of our major donors here, who's a great supporter of LSA, and that's Ross and Susan Condit. So if you would wave a little bit so I know you are. Now, let me also take a moment to thank our sponsors to put this program on. The Goodwin family, Ranga and Madhu Ranganathan, Heritage Business Bank, the Kim Richmond team, Star One Credit Union, Stephen Kelly Minchin of the Minchin team, Barbara and Paul Jenskow, Regency Services, Hood and Strong, Richard Clemens, Diversified Mortgage, Val and Carolyn Dixon, Minerals Trust, Pamela Van Wiegot, and Richard Holmgren, and all the wonderful people and businesses who contributed to our silent auction items. For those of you who are joining us on Zoom, you're currently muted for this event if this is your first time on Zoom. But if you have any questions or comments, take a look at your screen, and on the chat bar along the bottom, you'll see a green icon that says chat. And you can hit that, and Hadia will take care of your concerns and help you resolve any issues that you have. To begin the evening, I'd like to introduce you to LSA's Executive Director, Dana Hooper. Dana has served, okay, we can clap. Dana has served as Executive Director of Life Services Alternatives, LSA, since 2007. He is a social entrepreneur and a committed advocate for rights of the developmentally disabled. And his goal is to allow them to live their best possible lives in our community. Through his leadership, LSA has grown to serve adults in 15 different homes. Dana continues to move the needle in residential living and for developmentally disabled. He worked tirelessly with the state and local governments on affordable housing, quality issues, human rights. He was a past president of San Andreas Regional Center, where his son Brent has been a client in supported living. He holds an MBA from the Simon School at the University of Rochester, and it's my sincere pleasure to introduce our Executive Director and my friend, Dana Hooper.
Thank you, John.
Oh, I gotta get the other one. Okay.
A little bit of a handoff here. We've been practicing it for a couple weeks. Okay. Thank you for bailing us out. Okay. Thank you, John, for the introduction. Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. We're here to celebrate 20 years of impact. My journey started 15 years ago when I got a call from the board president at the time, Jeanette McNeely, asking me to be executive director. What a journey it's been. As a board member of the Regional Center, as a parent, I was aware of the closure of Agnews, and I sort of understood the role that Life Services Alternatives was playing to put residential capacity in place in the community for those moving out of the developmental center. What a monumental undertaking that was. LSA, for me, was an opportunity to give back. It was an opportunity to make a difference. And I believe we have been able to make an incredible difference over the years. We've impacted the lives of many. We've opened 15 homes and the CITP day program. What a journey it's been. I'm so proud of the quality of our homes and that we've been able to grow without sacrificing quality. No small undertaking. I'm also proud of the difference we've made in people's lives and what we've accomplished as an organization. We provide families with peace of mind that their loved ones will be well cared for and have a forever home. If there's such a thing as a forever home, we want them to have that opportunity. For me, it's always been about changing lives. The impact we've had on people's lives is hard to quantify. I've always said it's really about the smiles. And if you could only measure the smiles, we could measure the difference we're making. It's all about allowing personal growth, independence, exploring new things, growing. Over the years, there's been many stories and many examples of how that impact has happened. One that stands out in my mind is a story about our ninth home, Cypress. And Cypress was a dream, and it was a dream that we were able to fulfill and open in March of 2013, so close to 10 years ago. I'd like to introduce Maurice Liebenstern. He's going to come up and join me. The story starts with me in front of a group not too different than this group today, a group that I call fondly the Mountain View Moms. And it's a group of moms who all had sons or daughters in high school, special ed programs in high school. who were starting to think about what might be next for them. And so my talk was about residential care options. And I talked to them specifically about this dream we had to open our 9th home, Cypress. So in the audience was Susan Hartman, mom of Sammy, and she heard me talk about Cypress. Some 6 months later, I got an email from her, and she wanted to know how the dream was coming. And she invited us, myself, Susan, and the then planned administrator for Cypress to come over and meet Sammy. And we did this. We did this on the day after Thanksgiving, 2012. We came to the house to find that Susan was upstairs on hospice. But we got a chance to meet Sammy and Maurice. And as they say, the rest is history. I'm going to let Maurice tell that part of the story. Maurice? I'm going to follow him.
Thank you, Dana.
And then I follow him.
2012. If anyone would have told me that I'd be standing here under these circumstances, I wouldn't have believed it. But here I am 10 years later. My name is Maurice Liebenstern. I've been on the board of directors now for 10 years. Dana mentioned changing lives. To really understand how much LSA changed our lives, I need to drill down a bit deeper into that time, 2012, and tell you a little bit about how my family and I got there. In 2012, Susan and I were living in Los Altos. At that point, for about 4 years. I was and am a technology lawyer working in-house for tech companies. We had decided to relocate we had just decided to relocate from our home state, New York, to California, Silicon Valley, for a great job opportunity for me. In fact, it was literally as we were moving from New York, just 4 years prior, that Susan felt dizzy, packing boxes. Took her to the ER, and just a few tests later, ruling things out, we got the shock. She was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic colon cancer. It was devastating. It was especially shocking because Susan was a picture of health. She was a serious yoga practitioner, an excellent diet, no symptoms of anything. Also in 2012, I had a teenage daughter, Ruby. We had just moved her to a brand new place, thousands of miles away from any of the friends and family she had ever known. She was about to be dealing with the angst of high school, with college on the horizon. And she was watching her mother die. And for me, 2012, I'll be honest, I was pretty broken. Yes, I was a devoted father and caregiver, but not much else. The 4 years took their toll. I became reclusive, I lost my job, I lost 30 pounds, became diabetic. In short, as a family, we had been through a lot before, but this was the darkest time my family and I have ever known. Oh, there was one more thing in 2012. we had a special needs child, Sammy, who was about to age out of the school system. I guess you could call that the perfect storm. As all of this was going on, we faced a situation that all parents of special need children face. We had to ask the question we all have to ask sooner or later. What happens when we can't do it anymore? How do we find housing, programs, the essential things that can take them through adulthood? How will our loved ones find happiness, fulfillment, all the things that we've done for them since birth that they can't do for themselves? Up until that point, 2012, Susan's final mission in life became answering those questions. What'll happen when this perfect storm ends? She was dedicated to finding Sammy a place to live with the support he needs. So it was that Thanksgiving Day weekend, as Dana mentioned. I was with Susan in our bedroom, turned hospice upstairs, when Dana and the soon-to-be manager of the Cypress home rang the bell. They came to meet Sammy for the first time to see if there was a good fit. And as the story goes, I was sitting at Susan's bedside when that doorbell rang. As I stood up, Susan, weak and bedridden, grabbed my wrist. She paused, looked at me differently than she had ever looked at me. She gathered her breath and she said, "Maurice, don't screw it up." Susan would die in that bed fewer than 2 weeks later. And a few months later, LSA opened the Cypress Group home, where Sammy has been living now for 10 years. He's thrived. He loves the staff, his roommates, the joy, the laughter, and he's in the community right here in Santa Clara. So he remains in our lives, and I in his. My story's not special. All the parents of special needs children have their own unique stories. There isn't one life story that's better or worse. But no matter what the circumstances, the thing every one of these stories have in common is a moment when you have to ask those questions. What happens when we can't do it anymore? Who will look after our special needs children? Ladies and gentlemen, LSA was the answer for me and my family. And yes, Dana, it changed our lives. I'm eternally grateful. Thank you.
You'd think we'd get it down smooth, but thank you, Maurice. Every time I hear that story or I think about it, because I got to live it firsthand, it just almost brings me to tears. Because I do believe that we have been able to make a difference in the lives of Maurice and Susan and Sammy and Sammy's sister and the larger family, and it really feels good. A couple of other stories. In preparing for this, I was going through all the letters and emails I've gotten over the years. I always tuck them in a folder, because they always really make me feel great. This was a letter dated June 29th, 2012. It was from Bert and Amy Felice. Their son, Trent, lives at our McKendree house. And I'm just gonna quote directly from the letter. Our son Trent is so well cared for. He's happy and blessed in so many ways. The McKendree House staff deserve many thanks for their great work and commitment to compassionate, excellent care. Another one is from Warren Terry, the father of Maggie Terry, who lives at Rivermark. And it was also dated in 2012. We want you to know that we are very pleased with the LSA organization and the whole LSA program. We feel much blessed to have Maggie living among friendly people and cared for by capable and loving staff. Maggie's dad, Warren, passed away a number of years ago. Maggie is a senior living at Rivermark, and where she's lived for the past 15 years. And we're so happy that she continues to be able to live there as she ages. You know, opening and operating residential care homes has been very challenging. In the past 3 years, many of the homes have closed due to staffing shortages, low or inadequate reimbursement rates from the state, high cost of living here in the county, and the cost of housing has made it quite challenging. And during that same time, the need has grown, and therefore the shortage has gotten, you know, worse, not better. This is why our achievement of opening 15 homes with your help is such an important achievement. This is also why our work is not done, and it's far from finished. Our future is bright because of you, our employees, our board of directors, our families, our supporters, and all the organizations and people we partner with. This is what allows us to be strong and resilient, and allows us to prosper even when the environment changes in a negative way. We are reason to be hopeful today because the state is implementing a new rate structure and providing much higher levels of funding going forward. It is really going to make a difference. There's a lot of families and advocates are fighting really hard to get the governor to listen to speed up the implementation. Currently, the second phase of increases is not scheduled until July of 2023. And so if you do know an assembly person in your district or a senator, let them know that it's really important to bring that up. And the system is too important to continue to underfund. So at LSA, we envision and we work hard to create a world where people with developmental disabilities can live life to its fullest, whatever that means and whatever it means for them. We're not stopping here. There are still so many lives to impact, and forever homes to create. We will continue to strive to make LSA a great place to live and a great place to work. And thank you so much for your support. We now have what I would consider to be a treat. It's a video where we will take a look back on the last 20 years. I hope you enjoy it. We're so very excited to be celebrating our 20th year anniversary. Our journey began in 2002 when we were founded by Betsy Warner. And this began a journey that has led to the opening of 15 homes and a day program.
After, I guess it was about 5 years before he became a resident here, he was in the day program. And I loved the day program they had. I was part of LSA when we built the first homes. I was there with the first shovel full happened, you know.
Watching LSA go from 3 homes when I first started to now we're up to 15 homes in a day program. We had 30 employees when we first started, and now we're hovering around 200 somewhere.
We needed an LSA home to be a great place to live. We needed to be able to attract, train, and retain the best possible staff. So we needed to make LSA a great place to work.
I see LSA having 35 homes at least. We have 15 homes right now. It is important to keep LSA going because I don't even want to say it's a growing need. It's an urgent need for housing.
LSA is a big family, and from day one, we've all stressed it. And in some of the homes, we have different posters and such that replicate that. We just are known as the LSA family.
Everything. I mean, it means everything to us that Katie is in a safe environment where she's happy and thriving. Bob and I are 70 plus. And, you know, my biggest fear was that if something happened to either one of us, it would just be too much for the other person to handle on their own. And the other is that if something happened to both of us, would our other 2, children have to take on the responsibility of Katie? It just means everything that she is settled.
I guess I would say a caring place. I mean, they obviously really care about the residents. Yeah. We looked for a good number of years before she moved into LSA for some solution. And so we're grateful because there really aren't any other.
Absolutely. The impact that LSA has had on our family has been huge. Not only has it allowed my parents to have more time to themselves and do more things, it's also allowed Kevin to feel more independent. And it's given me something to be proud of Kevin for, beyond the things I was already proud of him for, but it's another thing that's really great that Kevin is doing.
Creating home, changing lives. Not just the life of the person that's moving into one of our homes, but the parents who now don't have that child living with them anymore because they've trusted us to support their child.
I'm so very proud of the differences we've made in people's lives and what we've been able to accomplish as an organization. Every family hopes that their loved one will be living in a forever home. We provide families with that peace of mind that their loved one will be living in a safe and caring environment.
I feel more connected to her through this experience. We can share joy together. And when you lose your partner, as I've done, my late husband was wonderful with her. When we came to LSA and we looked at the plaque on the day that we moved in, they had installed a plaque. And when I saw Joe's name on it, I thought he was an angel and he'd helped us to find this place. It was a miracle, absolutely a miracle in our lives. So it is more than just a little bit better, it is the best. And I have to feel that my late husband was an angel that just somehow brought us here. Had I not gone that day and heard those words, we would have missed this for life. So it's that much better. I love LSA. And Vanessa says every day, I happy. And if every day I see her and I ask, what are you happy about? My group home. That's what she says, my group home. Brought us here. Had I not gone that day and heard those words, we would have missed this for life. So it's that much better. I love LSA. And Vanessa says every day, I happy. And if every day I see her and I ask, what are you happy about? My group home. That's what she says, my group home.
Gives you a glimpse of what life is like for our residents at LSA. Also want to thank everyone who worked tirelessly to put together the video. Thanks to Dana for the testimonials and sharing the climate in which we work. Thank you, Maurice, for sharing Sammy's story with us. Really appreciate that. It was very poignant, and it's sure nice to have you on the board these past 10 years. I'd like to ask Dana to come up for a moment, if you would. Dana, that's you. Oh, and you probably never noticed the mic change. This is unscripted, so. Never noticed the mic change. You know, we did it behind the curtain, just like the Wizard of Oz. But now we'll make it more public. Hadia, you want to come up?
I haven't known Dana as long as all of you have. My name is Hadia, and I'm the marketing director for LSA. We just want to thank you for all that you've done and to present you with this certificate for all that you've done for over 14 years for LSA, for our families, our staff. And we also want to thank your beautiful wife, Alicia. Alicia, please come up here and stand next to your husband for the photo op. Thank you so much. This is for you. Right, take your time. Just thank you so much again for everything that you've done on behalf of the families, the staff, and also for our residents. All right. Dana, Alicia, can you stand? We're just gonna get a couple photos. And she'll take the flowers.
Okay.
Well, I'm totally shocked. This was not in the script. And I don't even know how you guys pulled this off without me even, having a clue. But I would like to tell you the extent to which Alicia has been an incredible, hardworking LSA volunteer for all 15 of those years. And of course, how supportive she's been of my work, which I guess really says volumes about her and how lucky a man I am. So thank you all, and thank you very much. Appreciate this recognition.
Oh, behind the curtain. And I'm back. Okay. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Charlie Hughes. Charlie is 33 years old. Okay, now we're gonna do another switch. Okay, come right over here, we're gonna switch it. Charlie is 33 years old and lives in Palo Alto. Charlie is a certified San Francisco Giants fan and enjoys working at Ada's Cafe. He is proud to be able to do every job in the cafe, and his favorite job is being the barista and making amazing microfoam. He is not defined by having a disability and is proud to be an advocate for individuals with disability. Please welcome Charlie.
Hello. My name is Charlie Hughes. Before I start my remarks, I would first like to thank LSA for giving me this opportunity to be here. I am honored. LSA does so much good for people with developmental disabilities by creating housing and creating community that allows people with disabilities to thrive. Mr. Hooper and your team, plus the board of directors, including Chairman Pencer and my longtime friend, Tina Underwood, all deserve so much credit for what you have created and do every day to improve the lives of people who just need a little extra help. On behalf of an entire community, thank you for the work that you do. I am also honored to be on a program with Cody Lee. What an amazing talent, what a great singer, what a great person. He is truly an inspiration to all of us. I titled my speech "In the Game" because I love sports. I especially love Giants baseball, the Niners, Warriors. Go Warriors. And I love my Pittsburgh teams too. Go Pirates, Pens, and Steelers. I also believe that there is a lot to be learned from being a part of a team. My message in life is, 1, get in the game, 2, keep your head in the game, and 3, stay in the game. My twin brother Peter and I were born 3 months prematurely, despite 9 months in the NICU, many surgeries and learning challenges. I have always kept my head in the game. Today, I want to tell you a little bit more of my story, starting from early years in special education to mainstream classes, and now my important role in helping run Ada's Cafe, where I demonstrate to our customers that having a disability doesn't mean you can't play an important role in your own life as you keep your head in the game. I have had so many amazing coaches and helpers in my life, but it really all starts with my mom. My mom, Kathleen, I will call her Coach K. She has been with me every step of the way, helping me become a confident, happy, healthy person. Coach K and my dad, Tony, have taught me so many things. They have always encouraged me to keep my head in the game, even when things were hard. Thank you for believing me and for helping me create a community at Ada's Cafe. Just like the communities created by LSA, Ada's is a place where people with developmental disabilities can make a real contribution to our community. My dad taught me to read Giants box scores and statistics in the San Francisco Chronicle, which helped me learn how to add and subtract. I tracked the number of home runs Barry Bonds and other players were hitting, both at home and away. All this helped me because become a lifelong Giants fan. My ultimate dream came true when I had the opportunity to throw out the first pitch on Autism Awareness Day back in 2014.
A memorable moment from a Giants game last week. It wasn't the fact that they beat the Chicago Cubs 4-0. It was the Giants fan who won people's hearts.
It was an incredible moment. That fan will be Charlie Hughes. NBC Bay Area's Garvin Thomas joins us now with what Charlie did that night, Garvin, and what he and his family are doing for so many others.
Raj, a year ago, Charlie Hughes, a developmentally disabled 25-year-old from Palo Alto, gave an inspirational speech at a benefit for the nonprofit Hope Services. In attendance, Giant great Will Clark. Afterwards, Will asked Charlie if there's anything he could do for him. Charlie knew just what to ask for. That, though, is just the start of tonight's Bay Area Proud.
Fans throwing out tonight's ceremonial first pitch, please.
We should all be so lucky that when our moment in the evening sun arrives, we are ready to embrace it like Charlie Hughes did his. In Charlie's case, literally.
Charlie, let's hear it for Giants superfan Charlie Hughes.
The image of Charlie leaping into the arms of Sergio Romo after throwing out the first pitch at a Giants game last month was a bit of a social media sensation. Charlie's joy bringing smiles and inspiration to thousands of others.
As you can see, I am a huge Giants fan. That was a magic moment, and I want to thank Coach Robert Burley for helping me make sure I was able to throw a strike that night. I also want to remind you that 2022 is a hashtag even year. We love those even years. I make sure we have the games on at Ada's Cafe. So come on in and catch an inning at Ada's. My siblings have helped me have a normal life with normal expectations. They have been life coaches about how to be, how to act, and how to live. I'm so thankful for Peter, Henry, and Francis. Every great coach needs a group of strong assistants and a good team if they want to win the game. My team of coaches and teammates have been excellent. My elementary school teachers, Edie Chong and Sue Gradis, I saw my determination and desire to learn, and they coached and taught me the fundamentals of reading and writing. They helped build the foundation for my lifelong journey. To learn.
A memorable moment from a Giants.
Lifelong journey to learn and grow. Thank you, Sue and Edie. You are my lifelong friends. All the teachers and staff at Warner Briones, especially Suzanne Doy, spent so much time helping me be included in the community and having a place to belong and learn. Gail, an adaptive PE, coached me and my classmates how to bowl with and without bumpers. She also taught us that we should not be afraid to throw a gutter ball from time to time, as long as you keep your head in the game. Angel Sheridan, a Special Olympics soccer coach, coached me on the fundamentals of teamwork and passing the ball. She also made it clear that it is okay if you accidentally pass the ball to your opponent and they end up scoring, as long as you keep your head in the game. And the coaches at Alpine Meadows Tahoe Adaptive Ski School, who taught me to trust my skis and body even when I could not see anything in front of me due to my visual impairment and the blowing snow, as long as I kept my head in the game. After my family started 2 vocational education cafes at Terman Middle School and Gunn High School, it was the memorable teachers in special education like Janet Fox and Tracy Berliner who taught me and the other students the value of working together to create food and coffee for the staff. That was the beginning of Ada's, and we have come so far. They also encouraged me to be a leader. It was Bill Libator of the Gun Choir who encouraged and coached many special day class students to actively participate and perform in live shows, along with mainstream high schoolers, as long as we kept our heads in the game. Thank you again, Bill, for letting us perform in New York City. Our school resource aide, Mike, commonly referred to as Bluetooth, coached all of us in gun special education to navigate life on and off campus. His years in the armed service taught him compassion and empathy, and he did the same for us. He has always been a mentor and an advocate for us at school and in life. Mike and I are fellow country music lovers, and we have become concert buddies during the summer months. Whether I'm running the register, steaming milk for cappuccinos as the barista, or leading a team at work, I demonstrate teamwork, commitment, and how to keep your head in the game, at work and in life. I'm a manager and an owner, and nothing would happen at Ada's without me. I am a role model through my appearance and demeanor at work, and knowing how to work every piece of equipment in the cafe. I also know how to interact calmly with customers at the register on a busy Saturday afternoon. I want to leave you with some of the lessons I have learned in my first 33 years. Advocate for yourself. Remember to make your voice heard. Ask for that job. Ask to learn something new. Ask for a place to belong. If there is something you want to learn or try, don't be shy. Having a disability means that sometimes you will be discounted at school or at work, but to use a sports term, I call a foul when I see it and I feel it. To those of you out there who are coaches, remember that it is okay to call a foul when you see it. Show up ready for the first pitch. Always come to school or work looking your best and ready to take on the day. Come to work or your day program looking like you mean business. Show up and be seen. You are all amazing and have gone through stuff that people without disabilities cannot understand. And perhaps you deserve to be seen in the game of life. You deserve a seat at the table. Be a good friend. Be a good friend because friends share your journey. Friends are there for hugs and high fives. Be a friend because we all need friends. Friends keep you in the game. I am thankful to have my coaches and friends with me today. I'm thankful for my friend Chris, and her family, my friends Hank, Sue, Edie, Robert, and my friends at work, like Todd, John, Linda, Simon, Rachel, Carlos, Lola, Abdulia, and Gilberto, Elsa, Rosa, and Howard. Become part of a community. Find a community that cares for you and helps lift you up. Be a good neighbor. We're a very divided world right now, but I encourage all of you to check in on your neighbors, just like I do. I take care of my neighbor's dog because they are elderly and have health challenges. I walk their dog when I walk my dogs, and I bring them treats from Ada's. Exercise and stay in shape. Any athlete knows that you need to train, so even after a long day at work, when I am physically and mentally exhausted, I still manage to get on the bike at SoulCycle for an hour to get my heart rate going, and then lift some weights. Before I say good night, I want to thank my brother Peter, who helped put my speech and all the photos together. Thank you, Peter. And finally, if you're ever in a doubt about life, the world, friends, or work, remember to do what I do. I keep my head in the game. Thank you, and have a great night.
Great, thank you very much. Great. Thank you, Charlie. And I want to mention that the silent auction is closing now. And he did a marvelous job. Thank you again. I want to tell you a little bit about Madhu Ranganathan. She's a parent of Sitara, who is a resident of our Cambrian home. Her husband Ranga serves with me on the LSA board. In addition to Sitara, she has two sons, Adarsh and Kailash. Madhu has worked as a finance executive for over 30 years. She is a lifelong advocate for causes relating to disabilities and an advocate for supporting growth in women and diversity. Please welcome Madhu Ranganathan. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, John. I was sitting there thinking, how do I even join this amazing lineup of speakers and musicians you heard today? And Charlie Hughes, thank you so much. I am going to keep my head in the game. And if you could just take that simple... If we could just take that simple message to 7 billion plus people in the world, it would definitely be a better place to live in. Thank you again for this great opportunity. I will start with our family background and particularly our daughter Sitara. She was our firstborn child, about 35 years old now. I was barely 23 years old when I had her. To receive this beautiful girl from the universe with all the challenges. And Sitara was born with congenital toxoplasmosis, diagnosed at 2 months old. Several medical complexities throughout her life, I would say, gave medical experts a run for their experience coast to coast. We lived in Boston and the Bay Area. While every doctor and expert seemed like an angel to us, providing the difficult answers and the solutions at every stage. Cognitively delayed, visually impaired, recurring behavior challenges. You know, Sitara, you can be completely fooled by her ever articulate vocabulary and musical ability. From then up, our family planning was spaced a bit. We have 2 boys, they are here, Adarsh and Kailash. Our oldest boy, Adarsh, was born 6 years after Sitara. We were worried about a recurrence. Adarsh is now a chemical engineer by profession. I then came to a realization that Sitara's situation could benefit from a plan A and also a plan B Kailash, our youngest, I don't mean to call you Plan B, a backup plan. Uh, we had another boy, and what an amazing gift. So our family, it's Sitara and her two brothers. Our journey towards finding a home. Over the years, it became increasingly clear that notwithstanding her continued challenges, she needed to call a place a home. Away from home, as she was growing up to this beautiful human of her own accord, independence, and self. The search for a home for a special needs adult, there is nothing like it. For me, the search started in my emotions, in my mind, in my heart, and in a clear future ability to let go. My husband was there much before I am. Perhaps these are the privileges of being a mom. I traveled around in India to try to find a home. I was in several places up and down the California coast. I joined the board of PACE, Pacific Autism Center for Education. I was there for 5 years to build a network that could eventually lead us to an answer for a home. It was in fact through PACE that we got introduced to the Cambrian Open House, which has eventually given Sitara a home, and a home is truly where the heart is. Why LSA? Turned out to be, of course, LSA. In my searches, several things came to light. An agency that not only has reasonable scale, but a strong culture and commitment. And LSA is unprecedented in that regard. Susan Leritz, I know Susan is here. She was our first window into LSA. On the day of the open house, after meeting with Susan, we were one of many people touring the home. I walked away feeling I had more than a decade-long relationship with Susan. She seemed like a confidant, a friend, and a mentor. The path with San Andreas Regional Center was certainly not easy, and Susan was very critical during that journey. We talk about brand ambassadors. Susan then and now, I'm sure you will all agree, is a consummate ambassador of LSA, and thank you, Susan. Then the actual letting go. When many women, mothers say, I do it all, I do too much. The actual weekend we had to make the shift, I had to travel to India. And Susan's simple statement, mind you, it was a mandate. She said, let Ranga take care of it, my husband take care of it. And he did, amazingly, while I was holding the book, the Gita, in the plane, crying during the entire plane ride. So I would say the moments in life that truly matter, there was no gender parity or equality in debate. As I mentioned LSA, I do want to share a special concept, the warriors. I wouldn't qualify as a sports fan. So Charlie, just to note, the Gita has been an amazing rudder for our ship. The book itself has been translated into many languages, and I'm certainly not here to propagate the Gita. But a warrior in Gita is commanded to slay the foes that constitutes one's own baser being. That is to eradicate those vices and inner demons that would sabotage one's path to becoming one's own and best self. The LSA teams, whether they are readers of the Gita or not, are warriors in the true sense. During November 2020, our daughter Sitara's home, Cambrian, was COVID-stricken. It was like one of the homes you would hear on the news. We were unable to step in and help, and watched from the outside with gratitude and awe how the staff came together to power through the 15 and 30-day journey. The Gita also speaks about doing your duty without the concern of the fruit of it. And service to a human is the same as service to the divine. The LSA teams were true warriors to get themselves and the residents to the other side of COVID in November 2020. And their association for us will always remain a divine experience. Second to last, I did want to share what we believe is a great framework. Yes, you have LSA, you have the residents and the clients, and of course, families and parents. Yes, the framework is of one of receiving services, but more importantly, it is one of giving back. In a couple ways, at least, we think, our family. First of all, our role as parents for Ranga and myself is oneness with the providers and the staff and teams. Yes, there are challenges, but that relationship is not an us versus them. And Ranga and I continue to remember that. Second are what I call the intersection points. Wherever we can and whenever we can, support for LSA intertwines with our life moments. And Ranga serves on the board of LSA, as you know, and he and I are both humbled he can do that. And Ranga's passion is running, coaching runners. It used to be Run with Ranga, now it's Run with LSA. Our oldest son, Adarsh, is married. His wedding reception a couple years ago, we offered LSA as a beneficiary for any wedding presents, and that was a no-brainer discussion and decision with such a young couple. Our youngest son, Kailash, is a sitar player. COVID has held us back a bit, and we can't wait to host a concert in the near term, and the beneficiary, of course, would be LSA. So wherever we can, how much ever we can, supporting LSA is core to our family. Lastly, as you can see, Sitara has molded every one of us in every possible way. Both Ranga and I are career professionals of multiple decades, and we know our performance outside of home has been curated by our journey with Sitara in every phase of our lives. Our two boys' college essays were, of course, about their sister, where they've drawn the strength, resilience, and compassion. Adarsh, our older one, was in elementary school, and there was a class discussion about Helen Keller. I received a call from the teacher that evening saying, Adarsh raised his hand in class to share that he had a blind sister. The teacher wanted to know if that was true. So Sitara will always be integrated into our deepest thoughts of our children from the early days and now in the future. So not just Cambrian, the association with the LSA family now and with all of you is a life blessing for us. Personally, I'm sticking my neck out here. I'm hoping to write a very short book in the near term. It will be about the child who never knew, a lifetime of learnings, growth, and strength that she and her ecosystems like LSA have afforded to us. Every success and distribution of that book, when it comes out, will be dedicated to LSA. Thank you. So thank you all once again for this great opportunity, and I sincerely hope you will all be forthcoming and very generous to this great organization today. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tina Underwood, and I want to thank you for being here to share in this wonderful event. It's so nice to see your cheerful faces despite all the hot weather, so thank you for being here. You probably didn't know this, but I consider all of you to be my tribe, my people. I've missed you over the last couple of years during COVID, but because of you, our son Kevin, and over 70 adults with developmental disabilities are able to live as independently as possible in wonderful LSA homes with caring staff. You have made this all possible. Do you remember that day when you or your child first went to school? I remember sending Kevin off with a mixture of joy, hope, but a little worry mixed in there as well. I wanted him to like school. My husband and I wanted him to enjoy his day. We hoped he would make friends. We hoped that the other kids would be nice to him. And we hoped that the teachers and anyone who came across him would see how sweet and funny he is. Now, fortunately, during the school years, we came across several terrific teachers, and he had a good experience. But even more importantly for us, we found a community, parents, families, friends, that all came together as part of the special ed world. And during Kevin's young years, there were lots of activities, lots of communities that he could belong to. He was a Cub Scout. He participated in Summer's Excellent Adventures, a summer after school camp. He was a part of Best Buddies all through high school. It was a nice time for us. But at age 22, when Kevin was aging out of the school programs, his and our communities shrank considerably. While there are opportunities for folks like my Kevin, once they reach 18 or 22, it's like falling off a quick cliff. There really are very few. But the rub here is our hopes and dreams for Kevin didn't change at 22. They remain the same. Today, we want him to have friends. We want him to enjoy the stuff that he does during the day. We want him to have a community in which he can participate and belong. We want other people to love him. And so that age around 22, when we were looking for a forever home for Kevin, I found a little terrifying. And that was until we found LSA, which we'll call our little miracle. And it's because of all of your efforts that LSA exists at all. Kevin is able to live in a home with great roommates, great housemates, and they are a community. They're a little pod, and they look after each other. Kevin has very poor vision and often needs help navigating uneven surfaces. And I've been at Cypress and seen his housemates, Robbie or Ronnie, help him down the stairs or out the door or up in. They really do look out for each other. And they are a family. They have barbecues on the weekends. They have karaoke nights. It's lovely to see. And the staff, too, they are family. They take such good care of our guys. And not just Cypress, but all of the LSA residents in the way they need to be taken care of. For us, just last week, we got a call from a staff member on a Thursday night that Kevin was sick and vomiting. And they were assuring us, he said, he doesn't have a fever. He doesn't seem lethargic. He seems relatively cheerful for vomiting. But they wanted us to know, inform us, they didn't want us to worry. And then just I think it was a few days later, I also got a call from a staff member just to tell us Kevin had said the most hilarious thing after dinner. And this is what community does. This is what family does. You know, we share and take care of each other. And again, LSA does this for all their residents, not just Kevin. LSA does create home and changes lives. And Cypress is Kevin's home. When he has a sleepover with us, he's not coming home. He's having a sleepover at Mom and Dad's house. So again, because of your generosity and your continued support, Kevin and over 70 other adults with developmental disabilities, they're able to live their best possible life as independently as possible in wonderful homes with just amazing staff. So please support the miracle that is LSA. Listen to your hearts and give generously tonight. LSA is just the most deserving and worthwhile organization. They make a deep and profound impact on so many lives, not just our son, Kevin. I have to mention, as John mentioned earlier, that we are so fortunate to have an incredibly generous donor who will match all donations, all funds given tonight up to like $500,000. That's just amazing. So please give now while the match is available. And so from my heart, with tons of gratitude and hope, thank you.
Poignant ask. That was wonderful. I want to thank you all for being here. I apologize that we've run over time. Sorry to keep you here. We were going to announce the silent auction winners, but actually I just talked to Celia, and we're going to keep the bar open, and there's some food here, and if you don't have to rush off, please go out, and we're going to keep the silent auction open for another 15 or 20 minutes. So we can't thank you enough for being here. I want to again thank our sponsors of this event, the Goodwin family, Ranga and Madhu Ranganathan, Heritage Business Bank, the Kim Rishman team, Star One Credit Union, Steve and Kelly Minchin, the Minchin team, Barbara and Paul Jenskow, Regency Services, Hood and Strong, Richard Clements Diversified Mortgage, Val and Carolyn Dixon Minerals Trust, Pamela Von Wiegand and Richard Holmgren, and all the wonderful people and businesses that contributed to the silent auction. So I thank you very much. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to be here for us. It's a very important date for us to celebrate 20 years, and home is where the heart is. So thank you for being here, and have a safe trip home. If you have a few minutes, come on outside and